Radical.
One thing people have come to expect from me through the years is the fact that I give my honest opinions on everything. Whether it's a person, whether it's a product, whether it's a food, I've done food reviews, whether it's something going on in sports, wrestling, gaming, anything. I always show up, I always bring a commentary that gives my thoughts unburdened by anything else. All right? Now, that is something that is not always the case when it comes to YouTube. And there's this one person who has some nice uploads. I would say some of his uploads are what you call bangers. He has some really nice uploads. It's Mugthief. And I agree with him on many points. And one of his uploads he had called Nintendo Wants to Bully Us into Submission. And the thumbnail had big white font with nice 3D with black and red. Very nicely done. I like your thumbnails there, Mugthief. Letting you know that Nintendo is a threat. They're a threat. And basically he was talking about what I briefly touched upon also, them trying to bully the makers of Power World into submission. When it comes to Nintendo, I give my thoughts on them. They have some fun games. I'm not going to say that I have not enjoyed through the years Nintendo games, but last couple years, I haven't really given a lot of attention to them as far as buying their products. I didn't buy a Nintendo Switch. I didn't buy a Wii U. I mean, I mostly got Nintendo systems after they're used, like older Nintendo systems. These days, though, a lot of people are very critical of the Switch 2. Everyone's coming out of the woodworks. So many YouTubers coming out of the woodworks to have their criticism, like Mugthief, in a upload again, half an hour long. I loved it. Banger of an upload. But I'm kind of shocked here because you would think this guy is not going to actually help Nintendo, support Nintendo, and buy their products. I'm like Brian from Family Guy. Whoa, whoa. I want to share with you a comment that I just left. And again, I'm not afraid to give anyone my thoughts. Now, I usually don't go to YouTubers' channels and leave comments. I used to do that a long time in the past. But apparently, if you go to a channel and you leave a well-thought-out critical comment, apparently some people call that bullying. Isn't that weird? Right? But I don't really do that like I used to. If I have something to say, usually in most cases, I'll just have a commentary, but I felt like doing it this time. My comment reads, "So you have strongly called out Nintendo a month ago in one of your uploads, yet you buy a Switch 2 for the purposes of review. Laugh out loud. How about growing a backbone and actually standing against Nintendo and just say no to buying their products and not increasing their sales figures? Trust me. If you and several other YouTubers followed suit, that would actually help a great deal. There are already enough major outlets covering everything about the Switch from every angle. So any excuse of, well, it needs to be bought and reviewed by me personally, doesn't work as an excuse if you are against it. That makes you a hypocrite." Yeah, I said it, a hypocrite. If you are coming out against something, if you even have an upload that you spend a lot of time, and definitely, again, it's one that I liked, one that I agreed with 4 weeks ago. I'm shocked that this person winded up actually buying a Nintendo Switch 2. The first thing he says in this upload, just to get in front of it, is, well, I bought it for review purposes. Again, I mentioned that there's a couple people and a few outlets that bought a Nintendo Switch 2, got their hands on it, and they're covering it. I mean, you look at all the major outlets, not YouTubers, but major outlets covering the Switch 2. You can't get away from all these long freaking articles, all these long reviews, everyone talking about the Joy-Cons and then the size of the screen. It's one of the most covered things I've ever seen. So, not just Mugthief. I mean, I know I'm kind of calling out Mugthief here and calling him a hypocrite, but it's not just about Mugthief. It's about so many YouTubers like Mugthief for months now, ever since We heard bad things about the Switch, the pricing of the Switch, the fact that a lot of things are going to be on little key cards for a lot of the third-party games, a lot of the moves they're trying to make against Pal World, for instance. You've seen a lot of these people, and he's not the only one, first in line to get themselves a Nintendo Switch, too, for review purposes. Uh-huh. Right. So I feel like there's two faces happening here. You know, it's almost like, you know, you're playing at it like, and it's not just Mugthief. It's not just this person right here. You can probably think of YouTubers right now that have had hellfire and brimstone banging on their desk, yelling, doing close-ups, talking about how much they hate Nintendo and all this stuff and the prices and the $80 game. But that's silent. It's silent. You can't hear it. You can't hear any of that when they're in line waiting at a GameStop to buy a Nintendo Switch 2. That doesn't mean anything. Now me, I'm not going anywhere near the damn Nintendo Switch 2. Fuck Nintendo. There, I said it. Fuck Nintendo. Current Nintendo, fuck you. Maybe if enough people actually had a goddamn backbone and stood up and voted with their wallet. I got the money. Believe me, I got the money. But, you know, if I had a choice between a PS5 and a Nintendo, I'm getting a PS5. I already have a Series X, but if I had a choice between a Series X and a Nintendo, I know Microsoft is kind of like falling off, and who knows if they'll have consoles in the future. I would do that. I already have a gaming PC. Now tomorrow, someone at my store is turning in a PlayStation 5. And, you know, that's a turn-in, right? So I know probably I've been critical a little bit of the PlayStation 5 and how it looks fugly and whatnot, but I wasn't in line first up to get a PlayStation 5. I thought for what it was, they didn't give me enough reason to buy it. But there's really a difference between, I think, Nintendo right now currently and their level of greed and Sony and Microsoft. It's a different level. For instance, you know, Nintendo will be known from here out into the future of the innovators of the $80 game. It started with them. That alone is reason enough to skip the Nintendo Switch 2. That alone is reason enough to go get yourself a Steam Deck, for instance. You telling me you can't have fun on a Steam Deck? And you might have the argument, well, Rick, you don't like just digital-only downloads, do you? Yeah, I don't like them, but look at what Nintendo are doing with the key cards. It's not like they're 100% preservationist anymore. So, yeah, Mugthief, it's not just about you. You just happen to be something that was recommended to me. Probably because I watched your Nintendo Wants to Bully Us Into Submission upload, and I think I gave that a like too also. And maybe YouTube tracked that and said, hey, we might recommend more of this to you. Again, nothing wrong with the uploads. The thumbnails, very well done. But, man, you just could have resisted the urge to buy it. And I'm sure this Mugthief, he's never going to have any fun and enjoy his Nintendo Switch. No, no, no. He's just going to use it there for review purposes for his channel. Okay. Oh, man. You're a hypocrite. You're not the only one, Muggy, but you're one of the many YouTuber hypocrites. So hold them to it. Let them all know. Guys and gals, let them all know that it's bullshit. You cannot do both things. You cannot heavily criticize a product and keep supporting the company and buy everything that they put out, you know, to review it on your channel.